Virgo, this week reaches into your emotional foundation and asks whether the life you built still feels safe to live inside. Not functional, safe. The Sagittarius full moon activates home, family, emotional roots, memory, and private stability. Something inside your personal world demands attention now. Family tension, emotional exhaustion, housing concerns, unresolved grief, or accumulated stress may surface more visibly than usual. You cannot logic your way around it anymore, and that may frustrate you at first. Virgo energy prefers solvable problems, but this week's energy is emotional before it is practical. The answer is not efficiency, the answer is honesty. Mercury entering Cancer helps you reconnect with emotional support systems, friendships, and people who genuinely understand your internal state. But it also makes you more emotionally sensitive to group dynamics, exclusion, or uneven emotional investment. You may suddenly recognize where you no longer feel emotionally seen. That realization becomes important midweek. A conversation, memory, or moment of silence may reveal how long you have been holding yourself together for everyone else, while quietly neglecting your own emotional needs. And because Saturn and Neptune are reshaping your deeper emotional sector, this is not temporary discomfort. It is long-term emotional restructuring. Some Virgo placements may also confront fears around vulnerability itself. You are used to being capable, reliable, useful. But usefulness is not the same thing as emotional intimacy. This week teaches you that difference clearly. Mars in Taurus supports long-range planning and practical action, which helps prevent emotional overwhelm from turning into paralysis. Once clarity arrives, you will know exactly what needs adjustment, and adjustment is coming. By the second half of the week, you may feel less interested in over-explaining yourself. Your energy becomes quieter, more deliberate, and more protective of your inner world. That is not avoidance, that is discernment. By the weekend, you may begin emotionally detaching from environments where you constantly have to earn your sense of belonging. Because deep down, you already understand something important now. Peace is not supposed to feel conditional.
Virgo, your tarot card is the Knight of Cups. An emotional message, invitation, realization, or vulnerable conversation may shift the atmosphere this week. This card softens Virgo energy emotionally, helping you reconnect with feeling rather than constantly managing everything through practicality alone. There is tenderness here. You may find yourself more emotionally open than expected, especially around creativity, romance, emotional honesty, or intuitive connection. But the deeper message is this: vulnerability is not inefficiency, it is intimacy. This week rewards emotional sincerity far more than emotional perfection.
Virgo, you get hexagram 15, Earth over Mountain, Modesty. This hexagram brings emotional balance through simplicity, humility, and grounded honesty. You do not need to overperform emotionally to deserve peace, connection, or belonging. The I Ching asks you to release unnecessary emotional pressure this week. Not every problem requires immediate fixing. Not every silence requires analysis. There is healing available now through emotional steadiness and self-acceptance. Quiet confidence becomes far more powerful than emotional perfectionism this week. And once you stop demanding impossible standards from yourself internally, your entire emotional atmosphere begins softening.
Virgo, your rune is Laguz. Laguz is the rune of intuition, emotional flow, dreams, and deeper inner knowing. This week asks you to trust emotional instinct alongside logic, instead of treating feeling as something separate from wisdom. You may become unusually sensitive to emotional atmosphere, hidden tension, or subtle energetic shifts around other people now. Pay attention to what your body senses before your mind fully explains it. Laguz also favors rest, creativity, healing, and emotional softness. You do not need to control every emotional current this week. Some clarity arrives more naturally when you stop resisting the flow entirely. This week was not about speed, it was about recognition. Recognition of limits, recognition of emotional imbalance, recognition of what your life feels like internally once the distractions quiet down long enough to hear yourself clearly again. That awareness matters, because structure without emotional stability eventually collapses under its own weight. Leave a comment below and tell me, where in your life are you being asked to create stronger boundaries now? If this forecast helped bring clarity to your week, subscribe, like the video, and activate notifications so you stay connected to future readings. And do not forget to watch your rising sign as well. Very often, it explains the deeper structural shifts shaping your path right now.